All right, thank you everybody for coming for another IGC Presents Star Wars The Edge of the Empire, Sorcerers of Rhand, Session 6, The Arrival. Let's start with a little recap from the last session. The party was kind of on their heels, reeling from the last fight with Jet Nova. A lot of people were pretty injured, none more so than Arden, who definitely needed medical assistance. So the party kind of scraped everything together, got on a ship, headed to Coruscant, where the party members were looked after. And after several weeks of rest, they had discovered kind of a hidden portion deep beneath the temple. It was overgrown with roots and vines and almost a makeshift swamp. After a short battle with Dianoga, the party succeeded. Were able to discover one of the containers containing part of the will. After which, they found a discovery on Dagobah. Again, jungle-esque theme. Deep within a cave, they found an entrance to looks like a derelict ship. Setting off a booby trap, they were quickly set upon by several guards, which they were able to overcome. Working their way through the ship, we last left them almost seated in a chair, half turned towards them, a kind of a red apparition. Is it a sister of Rhand? Let's find out. All right, you guys have the floor. Again, you entered the bridge, kind of half turned to you, a silhouette in red. What do you do?
Do we need to roll our stuff first?
Yeah, we probably should do that, shouldn't we? Let's go ahead with the force pool. And it's a good start. Good start.
Back to 4.
All right, looks like 3 to 1, plus the 2 for the recap.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and throw out our obligations. Survey says 31. That would fall in line with G. Let's see what we got here. Oath. All right. So we'll see how this colors tonight's events. But again, you are standing at the bridge, and there is a figure in red. It is half turned to you. It says nothing at first. What do you guys wish to do?
Well, hello there.
Oh, hello. I didn't think anybody was here. I heard the alarms go off.
Yeah, sorry about that. I kind of touched something I shouldn't have outside.
He does that a lot.
Oh, no. I welcome the company. What are you doing here?
Ooh.
Touching things we're not supposed to.
Could I ask you the same thing? It's a bit strange to find somebody just sitting in the captain's chair on the bridge of a crashed spaceship.
It stands up, almost like a hologram type flicker goes across its full length of its body. It stands maybe 5'4", and again, just almost a reddish silhouette, humanoid. Sadly, I'm confined, but perhaps you will free me.
Might I ask how you're confined exactly?
Well, that's a long story. It's been so long, I scarce remember. Only fragments really remain. I remember dancing.
That's nice.
Can we see her face at all?
You're not sure it's a her, but again, it is mostly just a reddish silhouette, like a hologram, similar to the blue and green ones that you have seen. You don't think it's a sister of Rhand.
Well, if you have any ideas on how we could help get you out of here.
Somewhere on the ship, I suspect, is the... It kind of garbles out for a second. Container.
Do the words "offer thy crimson gift bestowed, offer fealty, darkness foretold" mean anything to you?
Oh, dark emanations from that one. I vaguely recall, and it kind of stands still for a moment, almost as if the hologram pauses. Dancing and singing, chanting. They separated us.
When we came here, was there like much of the ship that we hadn't looked through quite?
Oh, quite a bit. Again,
Alrighty.
this is roughly Corvette size for you nerds like Tantive 4.
I don't drive.
That is a entirely different kind of Corvette.
Oh.
It's little and red.
Okay, thank you.
The first ship, basically, that you see in episode 4, the one Princess Leia's on.
Oh.
Or if you've seen Rogue One, the hammerheads, where they plow into the Victory class Star Destroyer.
Well, since you said you're kind of stuck, why don't you just sit tight and we'll see what we can find around.
Sadly, that's about all that I can offer. I hope that you're able to assist. It kind of looks... It appears that he looks over at one of the consoles. Huh. Are these friends of yours?
We turned that off,
Don't
right?
know the power of the dark side.
The console? You guys had just come into the room. Not one of the computer consoles at one of the doors where you were earlier, further into the interior of the ship. He looks at one of the consoles on the bridge.
Sorry, I was making a joke about the alarm you tripped.
That's okay, he doesn't drive either.
I don't drive.
I hate myself.
On that exciting note of self-positivity. Oh, looks like we got company, fellas.
Oh, like I said, maybe they can help you assist in the search. I would be most grateful.
He's gonna put his hand on G's shoulders. Alright, come on, let's head him.
Very well.
All right, what's the plan?
Any ideas or?
Can I go over to the console and the just kind of look at the screen?
Yeah, absolutely. Computer use difficulty 1. All right, 1 success. As you're kind of popping over there, you see some blips moving. You kind of run your fingers over the controls. They're somewhat familiar. You're able to pull up a cam. In the cam, you see and feel first a little bit of cold deep inside you. As looking up at the camera, you can see a red-skinned, kind of larger humanoid, kind of tendrils hanging off of his face, and a dark cowl covering his eyes. It looks up for a moment. You can see a couple other boys in white stormtroopers before the camera goes out. He raises his hand, makes a fist motion, and the camera disappears. Static.
I don't know if I'll be able to get anything actually up and running in this regard, but can I try to get into the computers and at least put us in the system as friend or foe as friends? So if these droids wind up activating, they don't attack us?
Okay, so let's set that at a difficulty 3, but upgrade 1 to red. And let's add 1 setback die. And computer use.
Then I'll go ahead and spend a light side point on that.
May the Force be with us.
Wow.
Hey.
1 success. Fezzik goes to work, just plowing over the keys, kind of muttering to himself, calling up maybe ex-girlfriends, just typing away. Finally able to kind of bypass what security was there. You have basic kind of admin type properties, although that doesn't give you 100% access to do everything. It is definitely going to help in the near future if you make any other kind of computer-based roles.
Okay, good to know.
So we came through the entrance and passed through like a mess hall to get to this area.
Again, it is a large ship. There are a bunch of different routes you imagine. Probably 2 or 3 routes that would get to the bridge area.
Well, we're running out of time, so we probably need to get into some sort of position to receive our guests, friend.
Receive? Sure.
Can we try and find like a, not standing around like a bunch of ducks in water to get some cover and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. What are you guys thinking? You move more towards the interior ship? Do you have an area where you think that maybe would be better tactically? Or are you going to try to kind of reinforce and hold off here?
I'd suggest not making our stand in a room with a bunch of computers that we'd like to get the information from. Not if we don't want some stray fire to destroy that.
I was thinking the mess hall we came through, but I didn't want to have them go around us.
Do we know how much of a straight shot it was between the mess hall to the bridge?
I mean, there's a plethora of corridors as well. Through the kind of the galley kitchen area would be 1 access point, and you imagine there's probably at least 2 others, but you haven't really investigated much to know.
Well, we can always go set up shop and make a whole lot of noise and see if that'll draw them to us.
I mean, that does preclude the possibility of an ambush, but I get the sense that if there's one of them Jedis with them, that they probably know we're here anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly, I have a feeling he'll know how to come to us.
Alright, let's get out of here. This is too cramped for my liking.
All right. So you guys move out of the bridge area, back through the ship into the mess hall area. You don't see anyone coming yet, but is there anything that you would like to do to prep, knowing that battle is probably coming?
I think there was something about like crates of supplies, and I'm sure there's like a counter or so in there. I'm trying to like get behind fortification.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can definitely set up cover.
Make sure that any cover that they could utilize is a little more difficult. Bust some tables up that they might be able to use, things like that.
Okay. So you guys start moving crates, flipping tables, that sort of thing. You hunker down and you start to hear the tapping of feet moving down, coming closer to the mess hall. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. I would say not vigilance, since you guys are definitely prepared. Wow, you guys got some good rolls tonight.
That was
Literally
awesome.
the best roll I can make.
This is really good.
Nice.
All right, so we got player character slot, then two more. Bad guys, player character slot, bad guy, bad guy. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good to me.
All right, the stormtroopers start piling in. You see roughly about 6 of them. You've got two, basically think of them as in groups of 3, 2 groups of 3. And behind them, staying way to the back, using kind of the bulkhead as much cover as possible. You can see that larger figure, definitely armored, a cape, and a dark cowl over his head. Player characters have initiative. First 3.
Quick survey note. There didn't happen to be any other of those alarm panels around this.
Because you didn't say that you were searching for something like that in the prep, you can make a perception check to try to find one. The stormtroopers will be at medium range. The other figure will be at long.
Oh, someone else can go ahead.
Who would like to go first?
Oh, I can do it then if no one had any ideas.
Yeah, I'm basically just waiting for them to get closer, so I don't mind going last.
I'd imagine Fi was kind of hiding a little bit out of sight, and he kind of pokes his head up a little bit, looking at the dark figures, like, "Oh, nice to find company out here. What can I do?"
He doesn't respond. However, you can see his eyes kind of come more into focus, kind of dancing off the reddish skin of his face. You see the glow of 2 yellow embers beneath the cowl.
I take it you're not here for the sandwiches.
Again, no reply. He has steeled himself probably for combat.
Did you tell him about the 50% off special?
20% off on Redbubble right now using code LAND. Just saying.
Oh no.
He looks like a guy who enjoys the color red.
I'm gonna take an aim at the Sith, and I can call him Sith out of character, and go.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a stretch for this day and age. And he is probably a pureblood Sith.
So aiming at him, going prone. That's gonna be my turn.
Okay. And it is long range. Oh, you're just aiming, you're not firing. I gotcha.
Right.
Okay, we still got 2 more player character slots.
I honestly was planning on doing about the same. Kind of staying where I was and taking.
Aim with a blaster. I mean, you certainly can do so.
Can I do that as in fire or no?
If your weapon can fire at medium.
The
It
weapon.
says range S.
That's
That's
short.
short.
Mhm.
Okay, then no. I'll just can I maneuver in a way to get closer but still be kind of hidden?
Hidden or behind cover?
Behind cover.
Yeah, you'll kind of move up from some of the boxes that you had placed, and there is a kicked over table. You can move up into short range and kind of hunker down.
And that'll be it for me.
You got 1 more player character slot.
I mean, I'm just waiting for them to get closer, so if anybody else has any other ideas, otherwise I'm going to basically do the same thing, take cover, and basically use my action to aim for the next turn.
G, did you want to go?
I don't have anything.
Okay, so we will move on to the next character's action. The first group of stormtroopers move in, kind of hunker down, pull their blaster pistols. All right, so let's do some attacks. They're just going to do a wide volley. We'll do Fezzik, Arden, G.
You know what? It might be time for Fez.
Don't think I haven't thought of it.
Yeah.
I'd rather save that for the big guy, though. I feel like he's going to be the hardest one to take down of all.
Okay. Fezzik. Volley again as all 3 of them move into position and start firing. Fezzik, a blast comes in, rings true. 8 points of damage minus your soak. Arden. Again, blaster bolts sing through the air, kind of singe near your hair, but no hits.
Bless.
G. One of the troopers takes aim at your position. Strike. A good strike for 9 points of damage.
Oh gosh.
Player character slot.
Okay, can I move in? What would that put me at?
So if you did one move, you would be at short range. It would take 2 to get into engaged, but you can do so. You'd just suffer 2 strain.
Can I move in and like pull to the side and get cover to try and like draw off some blast?
You can try to
Blasted.
get yourself cover between that second group for sure.
Okay, I'll do that.
And then you would still have your action.
Can I try and knock out a blaster from one of the troopers with the force?
Yes. So I think you need to roll your force die. You need to roll a pip. Okay, so you can definitely activate that. 1 second. Okay, as you grab hold with the force and yank the blaster out of his still shooting hands, he kind of lurches forward, bringing himself out of cover momentarily. The blaster rifle goes flying across the room. Good move. All right, so now I think it's my turns. Is that correct? Did all the players go?
Yes, sir.
Did Fezzik go? I don't remember him going.
Yeah, I just said I was going to get in cover and aim.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so let me... The next group of stormtroopers move up, and they're going to fire a volley as well. All right, Arden's going to be out of this one. Ooh.
Oh, wow. You just absorb crits, don't you?
The Arden is out of this one. That was actually on G.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's that Arden.
I rolled randomly to see. Ooh, oof, oof. Okay, so the first one on G. They fire, and they are going to score 10 points of damage. With the Triumph, they're going to push you essentially kind of out of cover. You cannot be affected by cover for the next round.
That puts me over.
Oof, even minus your soak?
Yep.
Okay, so we need to
Yikes.
do a critical hit. I think it's the next hit. If you get hit, it's a crit. And then next
We need to get you better armor.
is Phi. Okay, so something similar. Even with your cover, their blaster shots are just singing through the air. 10 points of damage.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, stormtroopers are no joke. And Fezzik, 9 points of damage. They shoot one of the containers that you were standing in front of. It just ruptures, melts, slags away. You will no longer have cover. The main adversary walks in. He stands in the middle of the room, reaches to his belt. Lightsaber flies into hand, Snap hiss. A crimson glow fills the chamber. I will only ask this once. What did you discover here? I felt a disturbance. I want it. Player characters.
Any takers?
No, it's
Uh,
all yours, my dude.
Are all the stormtrooper groups still at medium range, or did any of them move up?
They would be in range, medium range to everyone but G.
And our Sith friend is at long range still.
No, he's moved up. Sorry, let me rephrase that. He moved up between the stormtroopers and you guys. He is at short range.
Well, I know what I'm gonna do.
You go ahead and do it, and then I'll go after you.
Are you gonna blow up G?
Hopefully not. But I am gonna throw that thermal detonator.
Oof. Oof. Okay. Let's find. Do you have it on your character sheet?
I could not get it to show up as an actual weapon. I could get the item to show up, but it's not popping into my combat sheet.
Let's see if I can find it in the compendium real quick.
I'm bringing the
Equipment.
book up too.
Imagine it's under weapons. Yeah, here we go. Ooh, blast 15. All right, so it's engaged ranged of the target. G would be at short range, so it would miss him. You can certainly go for it.
I just put it into Sorcerers with the book hat.
Okay, so ranged light. That's the information I was looking to find.
Damage 20, crit 2, range short.
And that is 1 difficulty for short range, right?
That is correct.
And does the fact that I was aiming in the last round give me any boost die, or
sure
did
does.
that? Okay, I will go ahead and add.
Oh, wait, second chances. You can reroll one of the green ones.
Oh,
We have light side tokens.
oh,
Oh, there we go.
that was enough, though. You guys are skating by at the seat, by the seat of your pants. Fezzik just reaches into his pouch, throws this spherical object. It sits on the floor for just seconds. The Jedi, as you guys would call him, looks down at it for a moment. He's able to bring his hand up momentarily before the blast goes off. Are you activating the critical? I guess you can crit or you can blast with your 2 advantages.
I don't think because the blast wouldn't add to the damage he takes, right?
Correct,
It
and
would
there's
just
nobody
affect
else
people
around to take the other damage, but you can crit with it for 2 advantages.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. That makes more sense to me.
All right, it adds 40 to the crit. So that would have been a 71. The whole ship just kind of shakes and lurches. Nooks and crannies that were hiding dirt, debris kind of rattle and fall down into the ship. As the smoke, it's very difficult to see, kind of obscuring sight. When the smoke starts to clear, all you see is a spherical shape of a burn mark within the ceiling and the floor. It looks like it goes down to the next level. Standing maybe 5 meters away is Ji's body, who has fallen over. The stormtroopers look at this blast. They kind of look at each other for a moment, and they are booking it the hell out of there.
And the Jedi is nowhere to be found.
That is correct. All you see is what's remaining of that spherical kind of burn in the ceiling, in the floor.
Good shot there, Fez.
Well, I would have rather have gotten some answers, but we were taking some nasty hits there.
You got that right. So let's go wake him up.
Is he injured or strength?
Injured.
Do stim packs help with that? Yeah.
Yeah, you could. It helps with your medicine.
Can I give him one?
Yeah, absolutely. You need to make a medicine check, though. It's going to be with the stim pack a difficulty 1. All right. You can recover 1 wound. I think that puts them even, which would...
Yeah.
Yeah. Ji kind of rouses to consciousness. Looks like he's probably a little sore.
As impressive as the fireworks were, I don't know that bought us as much time as we'd like.
Is there actually a hole in the ceiling and floor, or is it just like an
Yes.
indent?
Absolute hole in both the ceiling and the floor. You can see kind of the durasteel superstructure of the hull that separated the 2 plates from the ceiling and the floor. I'm sure you passed through partial plumbing and wiring. Bits of spark and debris are still kind of settling in the room.
I am going to very cautiously look down into the hole going down and see if I see a body.
Perception. Difficulty 3.
I see nothing.
It's hard to tell just because of all the moving debris and such. It's difficult to see. You probably knocked out some of the power as well to the room down below.
Arden, help me get G up on his feet. If we're gonna be trying to find this artifact, we gotta try and find it fast.
Alright.
Yeah, that was a little too clean. I get the sense that we aren't so lucky that this guy was just completely vaporized into stardust.
Alright, DM, interpretation here. Does Fi know if that is a Sith? Does he know what a Sith clear blade?
With the battle that's been raging on, nobody's probably seen one, but there have been talks. Yeah. of a like a alien race, red of skin, tendrils hanging down. They came from near the unknown regions.
And I don't fancy being anywhere, honestly, on this planet if we find him again. I'd like to get out of here ASAP.
Before we forget, Fezzik is going to go grab that one stormtrooper's rifle.
Okay.
Nice.
Good thought.
Keeping his gun very close, but leaving Arden to kind of make sure G is standing. Fi's gonna go start looking down the hallway they haven't explored.
How big is G?
Probably like a little under average height for a male.
Can she piggyback him?
No.
I should find out just be a little sore.
Fine then.
Let's see if I can drag this over to you, Fez.
That works.
Have fun with that.
Curse my ranged light proficiency.
Am I the only one who has ranged heavy?
Yeah. Now, if we find a Gatling gun or something that uses gunnery, I can use that. I was trying to push forward and look for areas we haven't looked through yet.
Well, there's a whole bunch of new access points up and down.
Well, given that if he fell, he probably fell, so you want to try and go up, maybe?
This might be a long shot, but can I try and like reach out with the force and see if I can sense the artifact
You
that we're looking
absolutely can. So let's do a discipline check. It is going to be, let's do difficulty 2, but upgrade 1 to red.
And I'll spend 1 to upgrade mine as well.
Oh, I didn't even see it roll. So you reach out with the force. You're not sensing his presence any longer.
I would sense the Sith or the artifact.
I'm sorry, you were sensing the Sith, correct?
I was looking for the artifact, if I could.
Ah, I see. So it would have been a comparable roll. I'm going to give you 1 boost die. It would have been the only difference since you have some of the other artifacts. You're...
That was not meant to be.
Unfortunately, it was not. Again, you reach out with the force, trying to locate. There's just too much of a disturbance going on to really focus, to really pinpoint in.
Alright, well, I'm heading up the access port that Fez made. Watch right back, will you?
Stacking some boxes to get up there, or do you have other means?
Yeah, maybe trying to climb on a table or so.
Okay. Yeah, using some of the objects in the room to your disposal. It's not incredibly hard, although I do want you to make, let's see, what would be similar to athletics. There is an athletics difficulty 2, but add 2 boost die. Yep, Fike again moves some objects around, pops up on them, and just lifts himself up into this upper area. It's only a kind of a partial room. It looks like it's a set of ductworks that actually run across. And although you'd have to kind of be at a hunch, you would be able to quickly kind of traverse the length of the ship up here.
Well, no bad guy up here.
That's probably good.
Well, if that's what we're doing, Fezzik is just going to make a jump down into the other hole.
Jump down. Okay. Make me a similar athletics 2, no boost dice. All right, so you jump down, and it looks like this room was left a little disarrayed because of the blast and some of the debris that had shifted around. It takes you several moments to find your footing, and it is kind of half dark in here, low light, so to speak, as the only light that's coming in is from the room above.
No bodies that I immediately notice.
You do not see any bodies, no.
Or am I in a room or a hallway?
It appears to be another room, and there's one to the north, one to the south, so to speak, fore and aft.
And the doors are open?
They are not. They appear to be closed, but it's hard to see just because of the light.
I'm gonna poke around a little bit, because if he didn't go up and he didn't leave this room, he's either hiding or something's amiss. So I'm gonna poke around for a bit.
Okay. Do you have any light source that you would like to use?
If I can get my plasma torch out of my toolkit, I can use that, but that's the only real light source. So
then make me a perception difficulty 2 with a setback die. What are the others doing? I imagine Arden is probably wrapping up, bandaging up G at this point. Ooh, triumph.
As much as she can, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, a Fezzik, as you're using this as a makeshift light source, you're going to see kind of pooled near one of the access doors. You think it goes 4. You see a small kind of pool of blackish red blood. A little bit is dripping off of the access panel.
I will head back towards where the hole is and shout up to the others, "Got a trail down here."
Well, we should, well, damn it, Fez doesn't have a comm, I guess.
No, I don't.
It's funny that the mechanic doesn't have the easy, fun mechanical thing.
Well, I'm in the middle of a vent or whatever, but I can calm down to at least the 2 that do, and well, we might want to avoid down there then. It looks clean up here if you guys want to follow.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, he does seem to be bleeding a lot, if that makes a difference.
So does G.
Fair enough. But I got no particular way up, so,
Well, damn, alright. Probably
does
shouldn't.
it seem like there's enough stuff in the room that I could eventually form a way to climb?
You could. I mean, it would still take an athletics check. I mean, you wouldn't be building a staircase, but it would certainly assist in you getting back up.
Yeah, I'll do that. Better not to split the...
Okay. So some time passes. You guys reconvene on the main floor. You think that this Jedi survived. You don't know how, as you saw the damage that it did to the structure. You're still looking for this artifact, wherever it may be.
Well, at least now we know we're still in competition to find the damn thing, so we can't exactly take our time about it.
Alright, I had 2 paths up ahead. Looks like that's vent work potentially, but maybe we can try and find our way through.
Well, I mean, first, I think it would behoove us to figure out where is the most likely place on the ship to find such a thing.
If you can do it fast, do it, but as you said, we gotta go quick.
Can we, how long would it take to double back to the bridge?
I mean, not long. You guys could move there in a matter of rounds. You weren't incredibly far.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe if I can pull up the ship schematics, I might be able to find dark spots, places that look like there should be something, but there isn't, hidden alcoves, things like that.
Alright, we'll go back. I'll look over at Arden. Just keep your gun out and we'll try and watch the door.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So we'll pop over to the bridge real quick. As you move in, that reddish figure is waiting for you. What happened? I heard the loudest of noises.
Yeah, that was kind of my fault. We were fighting one of them, the Jedis that are not so nice.
Oh, I see.
You wouldn't happen to know where we might find this hiding place of yours?
It stands there kind of in a long introspection. I remember walking, sprouting in the gardens.
Alright, that gives me something to go on, I suppose. I'll try to pull up the ship schematics, but instead of looking for hidden alcoves, I'm going to try to see if there's like an agriculture wing or anything like that that pops out.
Sure. As you do some searching, the search is not to find what you're looking for. It's to see if you see anything else. But make me a computer use check. The difficulty is going to be set to 3. I'm going to give you kind of one knockdown from your exceptional roll from before. So difficulty 2, but you are going to have 1 setback die.
Yeah, you don't seem to be able to take a dice out once you drop it in.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think.
okay, that didn't.
If you double click it,
There you
Oof.
go.
Wow.
Nah.
The more you know, man.
Okay. So again, this was not to find what you were looking for. It was for if there was anything else. As you kind of search through, you see listed there is a sort of like botanical bay. It is off of the medical wing. Looks like maybe they were using it for pharmaceutical. It is
Alright.
kind of in the aft section, kind of on the port side.
Okay, I will swing back to the others and let them know
Yep.
what I found.
And obviously you would have found several paths to get there, one of which would be through the shafts up top, was probably the least obstructed, although it's a little hard on your back.
While he was messing with that, could I have done something in the chambers?
What were you doing?
Not trying to overly mess with the technical stuff, but as a pilot, can I kind of fiddle with the pilot controls and see what's going on with the state of the ship?
Okay. Just make me a base piloting check. We're going to do a difficulty 3.
You want space or planetary?
Space. A vehicle of this size does not do as well in the atmosphere.
You said 2 or 3?
Difficulty 3. You're trying to get the lay of her. It's almost as though it's built for combat, but it's still very civilian in the same regards. Perhaps it was a civilian craft that they've kind of retrofitted and kind of militarized is the best that you're getting. Nothing extravagant as far as specs go.
I do wonder what kind of voyage you were on, friend. This is a hell of a ship.
Yeah, if it weren't so embedded deep within the swamp of Dagobah, it might be possible if you could get the engines to fire to get it out of here, but it's been sitting for so long, so much overgrowth on top of it, it would be incredibly beyond difficult.
He was just kind of trying to do the like, what happened to you thing.
Well, if we stick around for another 5,000 or 6,000 years, I know a guy that could lift up an X-wing out of the swamp. He might be able to do something here.
Let's see, X-wing, capital class ship.
Size matters not, DM.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so you say you got an idea where to go fast?
Yeah, there's a botanical wing right off the side of the medical area where we were before. If we can get to there, I feel like, because that, I don't know, you want to call it a hologram we were talking to, said it could remember growth and stuff, so I was thinking that seems like it might be a good place to start our search.
Better than nothing. Alright, let's go.
All right. So, did you guys have a route decided? You're going to move through the central kind of layer of the ship, or are you guys going to take, I guess, the safer, more direct path in case you come across anybody?
Yeah. Can we take the vents? Because I want to recreate Alien.
I'm voting for safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of us almost died, so
So you all kind of help each other up into the vents. Again, it's cramped. You have to have that Taylor Swift hunchback as you're moving down through the shafts. After maybe 10, 15 minutes or so, you're gonna be very close to that area. You guys can start looking for some vents to pop down. As you guys get close, you see one of the vents. You think you're right over the top of it. There's a little bit of growth growing kind of in through the grates, kind of a mossy, viney growth.
I'm offended.
It's okay.
Lols.
Okay, sorry, you said there was a grate at the end of the tunnel?
Yes, it's got like a mossy, viney kind of growth growing through the slats of the grate. You think down below is the area that you're looking for.
Can I try and feel forward and push through it?
Like push the grate down and off?
Yeah, you know, kinda
It's
stick
not
my-
it's not obstructing your way. It's just growing up and through.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had that visually wrong. Well, Fez had a plasma cutter.
That he does.
I can pass it along the line, I suppose, through a bit of shifting and maneuvering.
Hold the line. All right.
Well, we didn't say what order we were in.
We know now.
He's at least second.
Yeah. So again, the plasma torch is kind of passed up. You guys ignite it. It's an average tool. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to use a torch to cut metal. You guys burn through.
Shield your eyes. Don't let the sparks hit you.
You guys start to burn through. When it hits that mossy growth, one thing is kind of odd. It turns from like a lightish green color to almost like a scintillating between kind of yellow and orange as it kind of dances down the vines. But the plasma torch is too much for it, and then it withers, burns, and dies and smells awful. But you guys cut a hole through, and you can see down to the bottom. Now the room is lit, but it's kind of like a bioluminescence, where these kind of small spots throughout the room are little globes of light, but it's not like a hard light that would light a room.
Fi's gonna pass the torch back to Fez over his shoulder and it's like, alright, see you at the bottom. He's gonna try and slip and jump.
All right. Fi jumps in. A few seconds later, you hear a slight. Everybody else jumping down?
I'll go.
Yeah, I have no idea what order we're in, so whoever's next in line.
All right.
She'll jump down and join him.
You guys jump down in. Whatever the organic growth that was here has completely taken over. It's almost like you jumped in the middle of a field. I mean, the grassy type moss is up well above your kneecaps. You see large kind of wooden-esque reeds standing, maybe 2 meters tall. They seem to be kind of arching and bending. You hear movement throughout the room.
Oh, this place has seen better days.
Like, what kind of movement is it? Does it sound like animals or footsteps?
Grass shifting. It's hard to tell. It's almost like it's its own little ecodome in here. The room isn't incredibly large, but it is, say 30 meters by 40 meters. It is a large section of the ship for sure. Maybe it was a converted old cargo bay?
Fi'll take out his another crack at the light it and it's gonna try and look around.
Make me a perception check. 2 difficulty, upgrade 1 to red.
I'm really good at perception.
Okay. You don't notice this until it's too late. As you're kind of looking around the room, there's some movement. Your eyes and ears are trying to track it down. You can't find it as it comes rushing up, kind of at a lateral position to you. You feel a small thud against your leg. You look down. Oh, it's a baby rabbit.
He'll kind of go down to kneeling and kind of stroke its forehead with his hand, like, hi there.
You pet it once, and then it kind of gets frightened and skitters off into the foliage.
So we have rabbits on the ship. Alright. I was waiting for that.
I know, right? Sharp, pointy teeth.
Alright.
Never trust a rabbit.
Banicula.
He's gonna try and go towards the walls and see if he can feel around.
Okay. Let's do a group perception check. Difficulty 2. We're looking for half the party to succeed. Ooh, and a triumph.
There's a massive amount of threat, though. Good lord.
That is, and that represents all the strain that you guys go through as you're searching through. Again, it's a hard, thick kind of bush that you're again over knee high. It's difficult to traverse. You guys are able to kind of plot out and find all of the walls. Arden, as you're moving around, you find a control panel.
One of y'all smarter people want to come over and take a look at this? It's got buttons and shit. I don't do that.
She pulls out her vibro sword and stabs it. Yeah, you guys hear Arden across. Hey guys, I found this.
Is it bigger or smaller than a Corvette?
I don't know, I don't drive.
I don't drive. My dad owns a dealership.
Don't be a Chad.
Okay. So we Arden points out the control panel there on the wall. As you guys, I imagine you move over to investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. It seems, again, it's overgrown with vines and debris. Some of it's actually kind of creaked into the panel. It does have power, and it appears it controls kind of the temperature, lights of the room, a few other things, the hydroponics. It is definitely tied to climate of the room. So you would have any of those at your disposal.
How about we get the lights on in here?
Yeah, the lights are a priority. I'm a little, let's just make sure we don't power up anything that's going to make a lot of noise in the process of doing that.
Okay.
Sounds like a good plan.
So you activate and start to turn up the lights in the room. Most of them, the small orbs that are placed throughout the room start to glow a little bit brighter. A couple of them do burst, but you are able to raise it up enough to a level where it's just above like dim light, moving into just natural light. In the center of the room, you see what appears to be kind of a stumpy, overgrown tree, but it's only partial, and it's been kind of tipped over on its side. Scurrying about on top, you see several of those rabbit-like creatures, and sitting is the man in the dark cowl. He stands, looks over at the party. You can see on his face the debris and part of the burn scars that are covering most of his body. You can see the central plate on his chest is burnt and nearly useless. You can see the kind of burnt flesh underneath.
Oh, you're a tough one, aren't you?
Very good. I believe I had a question that needed answered.
Well, if you're here, I suspect you may already know the answer.
If you want to go talk to the hologram up there, you feel free. We won't stop you. You can leave us.
Hologram? What hologram?
I think it's maybe a leftover from the ship systems. It's like the captain maybe. It's hologram up on the bridge.
Phi, I need you to make me a check. Make me a resilience check. Difficulty 3.
And may the force help me.
Well, since you're doing it, upgrade 1 to red.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
All right, so probably the only moment in Phyrus's life, he goes silent. He's speaking and then he's not. You feel a pressure at your throat. The dark figure, although you can see he's in obvious pain, has extended out 2 fingers and a thumb and is moving them closer together. I grow tired of your mouth. You're going to take 3 wounds. He's going to release you, and you're going to fall kind of to your knees prone.
As Fezzik sees this, he is levying his cryo gun.
Yeah, Arden's gonna pull her gun up.
I see, so it is the hard way. Snap hiss as
5.
lightsaber comes on.
Phi he's on his knees. He's kind of like got one hand at his throat, but he holds the other one up, coughing, and he's waving at his companion. Once he kind of catches his breath a bit, he's like, "Look, I'm not here to fight with a Sith.
Then tell me what I need to know."
There's a Force ghost. Or no shit, he wouldn't.
You can make up shit.
Yeah, what would they call a Force ghost? An apparition or something?
I mean, that sounds logical. You know of the Force and it looks like a damn ghost.
There's a Force ghost or hologram or something up there. We were trying to find its can
He looks over at the Jedi. And why are you here? Were you sent by your council?
Yes, I was. Much like how you were sent by your master.
I was not sent by a master. I am a master.
That's good to know. If we kill you here, we don't gotta worry about anybody coming after us.
Always speaking in ifs. I can make things absolute. Jedi. Your companions are weak. I saw them leave you there, putting you in danger, just to take out me. I could use an apprentice. You seem capable enough. Leave this riffraff. Join me.
That's funny. But I will never fall to the dark side.
Your obligation is strong to your order. I give you that. But you do not know how to focus it. Fine, let me be your final lesson. He starts to move forward. We're going to roll initiatives, and it's going to be... You guys can use cool.
We can. Yeah.
Yes, cool.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's okay. I'm still going first. He starts moving one step, then two steps. The couple steps quickly turn into a burst of movement as he's almost up on you guys. However, he stops at short range, his lightsaber extended out to the left. He raises his right hand. I need everybody to make me resilience checks. Difficulty 2 and upgrade 1. Difficulty 3, but one is a red.
That's
More
not good for
fails.
me.
Oh, Arden succeeded.
I always do.
Oh, good God.
Oh no.
Oh no! Oh
Our
no!
force baby.
All right, I'm gonna spend one more. Oh, I'm out of dark side. All right. His fingertips start to dance with purple energy as he sends an arc out over everyone. Since nobody succeeded, you guys aren't going to be able to do much. But this will not go through. This will bypass any soak that you have. Everybody's going to take 3 wounds as the lightning dances over your body. And then the 4-player character slots. I think that might have dropped G down.
Yeah, I'm down again.
Did Arden take that? She succeeded.
I'm sorry, Arden, you're going to reduce that by 1 point per success. So you're only taking 2 then.
Nice catch, thank you.
It is now all the player characters' turns.
How close range?
He is short range.
Ah, yes.
Keep in mind, he's obviously wounded.
Do you want to go, Arden?
Yeah, I'll go and I'll pew pew. Do I need to put in difficulty or anything in with that?
Short range is always difficulty 1. As you fire your blast, he catches it on the tip of his lightsaber, sending it in an off direction. Do you wish to spend any of your... Yeah.
Can I spend 2 of them to disorient?
Yes. That is going to put him at a setback for the next round. Turning a miss into something good.
That's it for me.
Virus? Fezzik?
Did you have anything to do, Fez?
Other than just go ham, not particularly. So if you had something smarter or more clever, you're welcome to it.
Fi is going to kind of stagger up to his feet, and he's looking a little bit frightened. How far away is he from the control panel to the room?
You guys were pretty close. You guys were literally engaged with the control panel. To the center of the room, you're looking at least medium distance, but again, the Sith is in front of you, and standing up, oh, it hurts.
Fi would like to... He's going to go frantically over to, reach over to the control panel. He's going to try and just fuck with the climate controls in the room as much as possible.
Okay. Any particular result that you're looking for, or just chaos?
Chaos, and he might even just shoot the panel.
Okay, no problem. So let's shoot the panel. You're going to have possibility for good and bad. So let's give you, go ahead and make your ranged attack against it. Add 2 boost die, and difficulty is just 1 red. Yes, give me more dark side.
Yeah, you're... Oh, can I do... Oh god, am I even able to... Can I do the second chances thing again?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, I'm gonna
It's a
reroll
different
one of the
encounter.
yellow ones.
Ooh, nice.
That still doesn't... I still fail.
It still failed, but you got a lot of quote-unquote successes. So you shoot the panel. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do anything with the panel from here on, but a little bit of chaos ensues. You feel some kind of heavy, misty rain start to pour. A few seconds later, it stops. Then the globes turn really bright, bursting another one, but just a bright sensation in the room. Then it starts to coil down. You feel a strong wind pick up and set down. All of this is going to kind of go on at random, adding some difficulty to the combat for everybody.
Thanks.
And then he's gonna reach into left side of his pocket, and I've carried this with me on my sheet the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a chance cube. He's gonna just hold it in his palm and kind of roll it with his thumb and say, "All right, Red Lady, about time. Come on, Red Lady."
Okay. Fezzik's turn.
Okay, I am going to go ahead and take the strain to double aim at this guy.
Alrighty.
And just for shits and giggles, I am also going to burn a light side point because I want to make sure I fuck this guy up as much as possible.
Oof, ouch.
Okay. So, success and a triumph. You blast in the area. He brings his saber to bear in front of it. You see it start to kind of frost up. He smiles as he's, again, kind of deflecting this shot, and then it shorts out for just a second, and the blast kind of goes through, strikes him. That's for 7 points of damage.
Yep, and I am going to spend the advantage to roll on that crit table.
Alrighty. I gotta think about this. He was already hit once, so it's already at plus 10.
And it's another 20 from my weapon, so I had 30.
So 84. I know he's already hamstrung.
I have to find that one. And give me a minute.
Okay. No problem. I'm trying to figure out if I can whisper in this game. It's set up differently. Fi, I'm gonna send you some things here on Discord real quick, okay? If it sends. So we're back to the top of the order. And I think you probably know where I'm going with this. I just need a yes or no. I'm pretty sure the answer is yes.
Give me 1 second. Sorry, I had to step away
No
from it.
No problem. The Dark Lord, again, kind of smacks the hilt of his saber. It snap hisses back to life. It is his turn. He takes a step forward. Kind of surveys the room. Looking at the fallen Jedi, you can see the parted grass where he sits. Last chance. You all could be servants. You could live. What say you all?
You could live too if you surrender now.
Leaning against the wall where he is, Fi just... He kind of grimaces and he's just still rolling the chance cube with his thumbs. Like, I don't want to do this again.
All right. You hear the sound of as the door to this entryway opens. Obviously, you guys descent down through the ducts. This is one of the actual doors that would lead to the interior. Striding purposefully, you see a woman cloaked in red. She steps ever closer. The Sith looks at you, looks over to her. What is the meaning of this? The woman replies, Lay your hands off them. That one belongs to me. She throws her cowl back. You can see her darkened hair pulled back into a, not a bun, but kind of a very bushy type ponytail. And her kind of white face. As she moves, you can almost see the cracks beginning to shift and move on her face. The Sith Lord turns over towards her, kind of moving his body to kind of half face you and half face her. Again, she moves. She's about medium distance from him. Virus, say the word, and it shall be yours.
Help us, please.
She closes her eyes and begins to move in a very sensual way. The room, which was chaotic with water pouring, the lights going on and off, the temperature rising and falling, it starts to settle. It starts to get cold, so cold you can see your breath, as you can see Fyrus just kind of half leaned over in pain, breathing out this cold air. The rain turns into almost a light mist as it fills the room. There's just enough light to see and make out silhouettes moving from the woman over to the dark-sided Sith figure. You can see her shadow almost just stretch. You can see it move over, and as soon as it comes in contact with the Sith Lord, no! What is this? He starts swinging wildly with his saber, trying to hack at this darkness. It moves up his body. He's trying to strike at it, even striking himself in the process. You can see the score marks and the cauterized blood starting to form around him. You see the black hands grasp around his neck, and you hear a loud pop. And all becomes quiet.
Fi just slides down the wall and is sitting back down on the ground.
Gather the things. Meet me at Nihil Retreat. She blends into the shadow and disappears. Let's take a 10-minute break. Be right back.
Fucking A.
And I have returned. Still got a couple minutes on people unless everybody's here.
We're back.
That would just be Moon.
I'm back.
Awesome. All right, so let's get some mechanical stuff out of the way. For the assistants, we're gonna add, and this will be for everyone, kind of a group obligation. You now have an obligation of 10 to this sister of Rhand. 5 for your pre-existing condition, it has increased by 5.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. So group obligation for invoking the assistance of the sister of Rhand. Everybody, it's a total of 10, and I will track that has been added to your pool. And 5 specifically for you, your condition has worsened. It is now 5 higher, so it should be a 15.
Been duly noted.
Also, you guys may set your wounds and strain at half their value. I.e. kind of a supernatural recovery. G, you will start to stir and awaken and kind of pull yourself out of the overgrowth that's surrounding you. What's going on in your guys' heads right now?
Fezzik is just immediately going to head over to inspect the body.
All right. You can see his neck and trachea have been snapped. The spine is no longer attached to itself. The head just kind of flops to and fro. You can smell the burnt flesh from where he was striking at whatever this darkness was. Again, it just fills your nostrils. He's very much dead.
Does he have a... yeah, I was going to say, does he have like data pads or anything like that we might glean any information from?
He does have a data pad. It is encrypted, so you'll have to break that. On his person, there's really not a whole lot. A kind of a field med pack, a spare battery cell, and his lightsaber. That's really all that he was carrying.
Fezzik's gonna, I guess, collect all of that for now, and we can figure out what to do with it later.
Okay.
Fi is putting his cube away. He's gonna haltingly try and stand up from the.
Okay. Again, as you guys breathe in and out, it is still very cold in this room.
All right. We were looking for something.
Hang on, someone tell me how you guys were able to defeat a Sith.
Listen, I appreciate you trying to change the topic, Fi, but did you miss the part where that other Force Ghost, as you called it, was telling us how these ladies are spreading darkness throughout the galaxy, and you're striking bargains with her now?
Seems Fi and Fezzik are back to the old argument.
They're fine.
I didn't miss anything, Fez. I have taken a gamble myself. Shouldn't have to worry you guys anymore.
It should be also obvious, even to Ji, who's now able to stand. Fi does not look good.
What exactly did you do?
You guys can interrogate me all you want, but I'm not a hocus pocus waver like G. I don't know exactly what I did, but it helped. So let's just find the artifact and move on. Okay.
Some of the rabbits in the room have started to move and collect around that stump.
Well, they seem to know it's not dangerous anymore.
As they all attack and you take 40 points of wounds. No, I'm kidding.
File kind of put his head down, grin and bear it, and go over towards the stump, and he's going to try and look around for stuff.
Okay. Again, obvious to the other player characters, as Fi is moving, he's moving almost like an elderly man at this point. He didn't really suffer damage per se. Nothing. I mean, he's been jumping up and down in shafts and all sorts of things, but it's like he can hardly keep it together, his motor skills, so to speak. As you move over to the stumps, the rabbits kind of part out of the way. And as you're kind of investigating, you see some sort of object that has been lodged in. And again, it's almost as if the tree has started to grow over it.
Well, same playbook, different place, I guess. Looks like there's something under the tree here.
Did the tree, or did it actually wind up in the tree, or is it just under the tree?
It is a part of the tree. As you guys kind of investigate, the tree actually didn't fall over. It grew up and then just immediately did like a 90-degree turn and kind of planted itself back down into the ground.
Well, I'm not gonna be much use hacking it out of there.
Just because Fezzik is always curious about new toys, he's going to try using that lightsaber that he just picked up to carve it out of the tree.
All right, so it takes you quite a while to find the activation switch on it. When you do, it springs forth to life. It is just a very light weapon. You don't think that you would be very proficient in it in combat whatsoever. You kind of touch it, I imagine, to the stump just to see what it does, and like a knife through butter, it just starts to work its way down through. You can use that to kind of hack away portions. You do your best to kind of keep it away from this partial cylinder that's sticking out. You guys will have to clear the rest away by hand just because of how precarious lightsabers are. But through a little bit of work, you're able to kind of wrestle it free.
Does it seem damaged or just
It does
covered
not.
in, I imagine, sawdust?
It looks it looks completely intact. Seems to have quite a bit of charge on it.
Well, for whatever reason, this one fared a lot better than the one on Coruscant.
Well, if we can get what we can get out of this one, maybe we can figure a way to use what power's left to charge up that other one too.
Well, let's not stick around too much.
Well, if y'all will give me a minute, I'll stick behind just a little bit. I want to take another look at those computers. I have the sneaking suspicion that red lady was just fucking around with me, but she did imply that I could find some answers of my own here. So I'm gonna check those computers and see if I can find anything out.
You can come do that up on the bridge. We gotta talk to the hologram again.
Okay, as you guys start to move your way back through the ship, you come across a small kind of corridor on your way back, and you see the remnants of several stormtroopers. They may or may not have been the ones that you had encountered earlier, but you see bits of armor kind of scattered about. You see that one of them was kind of pressed. It looks like they were pressed against the wall so hard that the blood kind of smeared out from behind as the lifeless husk then slid down the wall. You can just it's carnage, it's chaos in this room.
Just out of curiosity, looking over the remains, do I get the feeling that there's enough salvageable armor here to make something that would make G not quite so squishy?
Yeah, like a set of like laminar armor or whatever it's called. Laminate armor.
Laminate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically plastic.
Yeah, I'll attempt to gather that up, then try to get enough pieces that don't look like they've been absolutely destroyed to
Yeah.
put something together for them.
There should be enough just between all the stormtroopers. You would be able to salvage probably. Well, hold on. Three sets of armor, if you so
Nice.
desired, and another partial, give or take. Now, if you didn't care about damage and stuff, you could
Yeah, I'll
obviously
definitely do
fashion
that.
4
We could all
suits.
use a bit of a boost if I can gather that up, because I think that's pretty good armor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh no, did everybody lose connection?
I'm
No.
here.
I can
Okay.
hear you.
So we were heading back up to the bridge, I think.
Yes. When you guys make it to the bridge, you see this. As long as it uploads.
Mine just said it reconnected to host.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I wonder if my net's starting to go.
Discord's fine for now.
Feel fairly secure in saying that when you say you see this, whatever it is not good.
Pretty much.
No, it's always good.
Sure.
When you get to the bridge, you see a brand new Corvette.
Why
No,
are you like this?
I think you guys can see that now.
Yeah, we just got it, I think.
All right. When you get to the bridge, that reddish kind of silhouette, the figure, whenever the cylinder gets close, you see kind of a beam of light go out, and it fills in the area. It still looks like a partial hologram, but that is the figure that is standing before you.
Oh, that feels better now, doesn't it?
Yes. Thank you. I was starting to forget myself.
Do I get the sense that this Force Ghost, this hologram, whatever it is drawing energy from the cylinder?
That wouldn't be a far assumption.
I know there's like no easy way to do this in this rule set, but is there like a sense motive kind of a check I could make?
We can maybe figure something out. Let's do. So, I would say discipline would be the best, and let's go difficulty 2.
I'll go ahead and upgrade that just because. Didn't matter.
Yeah, you cannot tell.
Who's holding the cylinder at the moment?
Fi is.
I'll warn you to stay back away from this person. I'm not sure I trust it just yet.
Well, we found it. Are you free now?
Free? No. Complete? Also no. But better. Thank you.
Well, we found a couple more of these and a couple more you, but none of them as strong as you.
I see. I'm still recovering bits, but I remember it was so long ago. I remember being in a chamber discussion. We thought it best to hide it. The sorcerers. They were trying to harness our power. We deemed it best to separate, hide ourselves.
If anyone's paying attention, there are some fingers like going white knuckled against the artifact.
White knuckled is in nervous, or white knuckled is in you're trying to break it?
No, it just is tightening in response.
Nah, I'm not saying I don't necessarily believe your story, but I'm just one for patterns, and the last couple of cylinders we had encountered like this, the figures that accompanied them were a lot more blue than you are.
Color matters not. My brothers and sisters, some call us the Wills. We I have very little strength left.
By my reckoning, we have one more to look for. What happens when...
Why are you collecting us?
Because we want to see what happens when you all get together, right?
I believe the idea was to find the Temple of the Wills.
We must not be brought together. Take us, scatter us, hide us.
You implied that getting you all together is what the Sorcerers of Rhand wanted.
I only see glimpses of past events. But yes, they are a danger. You must keep us from collecting together.
Was there like a when we activated the very first one of these, there was like an input G did to let the projection come out?
Mm-hmm.
Can I turn him off?
Yeah, you have the cylinder?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you start fiddling with things and just... the hologram disappears.
Oh, that's one more in the trunk.
I mean, in light of that, I feel like it's something we definitely need to take up with our... I'm drawing a blank on the word, but person that's sponsoring us. Sponsor. Take up with our sponsor, because he's trying to gather them all together too, and maybe giving him the benefit of the doubt, he doesn't realize that that is apparently a bad idea.
Honestly, I'm feeling like our historian and all of us are a little bit out of our depth than what we thought we'd be.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm out of my depth necessarily, but I certainly was not planning on getting caught up with people that are trying to control the fate of the galaxy, as it were.
I know took care of a lot of them, but I don't know how many more stormtroopers are around or if there are any other of him. Let's get back to our or after you wanted to look at the computers, but
Yeah, I get the sneaking suspicion she was probably just lying to get us all here, but I'd like to take a look anyway.
All right, so you guys kind of gather yourselves and things and start to move out of the ship. As you do so, you're going to come across, in total, roughly a dozen, including the group that you saw before, of stormtroopers. They have been desecrated, destroyed in a very chaotic fashion.
Was I able to get anything out of the computers at all, or no?
Let's make a computer use check. Difficulty 3, but one of them is going to downgrade to just a purple, so 3 purple.
And I'll spend a light side point since last time this did not work out so hot. Oh, come on.
It's just been lost to the databanks of time.
there's no way I can do a reroll. Is this a new scene?
Yeah, you can.
Do you want to reroll the yellow on the left?
Yeah, may as well.
That is enough. All right. So as you start to kind of comb through the archives here, depending on how much time you want to spend, I imagine nobody wants to spend weeks here. But important things that you're going to uncover. This was basically a research vessel, circa maybe 300 years ago or so. They were part of a skirmish above planet. They, of course, were shot down, got caught in the atmosphere, brought down. There was a small group of people that did survive here for a while. There was kind of a rift between the peoples as well. About half of them decided to stay. The other half decided to go out into the jungle and try to find another way off this planet. No one really survived just over the course of 300 years. They tried the best they could with the pharmaceutical kind of growth things here. They were growing food stuff, but not a whole lot. They thought that the rabbit program would essentially save them, but they are not good to eat. Very bad things were happening to people who were eating them.
Interesting. Was it a medical reason, or were they able to discern why that was the case?
They could never replicate something. Essentially, think of it this way. People were eating these, and it was making them incredibly sick. They tried to, through gene therapy and such, work out anything that was bad in it, but they were never successful. Is it possible? Yeah, absolutely. But given enough time and resources, but again, being marooned here on this planet, not a whole lot could be done.
Just have a weird hunch that maybe there might be a connection between our sick friend and the rabbits. It's a weird coincidence.
Fia's half rabbit.
You never know. Maybe he got bit while he was fumbling around in the dirt.
It's a possibility. One of them did come up and he touched one.
He got rabbit fever.
I need to get my rabies shot.
The bubonic plague. Oh.
He's gonna turn into a superhero with rabbit-based powers. Got bit by a radioactive rabbit. Am I able to find anything about what they were originally trying to survey?
They were just kind of a research vessel. They were headed towards the unknown regions. Never made it. They were attacked by pirates.
Alright, I guess there is, as I suspected, not really anything for me here, but just to see if I can give it a shot, I'm going to try to see if I can activate some of those security droids that were in the armory area, that maybe we can bring them back with us, who knows.
Okay, computer use difficulty 1 red. Yeah, you activate them. Obviously, they're going to take a steady supply of power. So that's just upkeep. But 2 of the droids are serviceable and usable. So basically, you got 2 mini Magna Guards.
Nice, now we'll have some security when we're all off the ship. And that was all I was really thinking about, unless we wanted to try grabbing one of those rabbits on the way out.
Just leave the rabbits.
All right, you guys return rabbitless to your craft.
I'm gonna put the artifact with our collection in what I can only assume is our glove box.
Yes, your glove box.
No, like, immediate sparks flying or magic runes when I just put them together.
No.
Well, how about we all gather around a bit? We got a discussion to have.
Yeah, we may want to get Juxta in on this as well.
Well, before we bring Bith in, we know we're going to the Nihil retreat. The only thing I need to figure out now is whether or not we need to get the last of the wills before we go there.
I mean, she said she was going to be waiting for us there, and she's the one who wants all of these things gathered together, and we know she's up to no good. I feel like maybe putting these someplace safe and going there empty-handed might be a little more on the wise side of things.
I mean, we can hash out what we want to do with them afterwards, but we've already come this far, we've gotten them all together. Don't we want to get the last one too?
Do we even know where to go to get the last one?
Yeah, the last one's in the heart of the Empire.
Yes.
Korriban.
Well, I mean, on the one hand, it's not as though we're a Republic vessel, but on the other hand, we did just murder a lot of their own as far as they're concerned.
Yeah.
Well, not like we haven't done something similar before, but they had to get to this planet somehow. Yeah.
You're thinking taking their craft and flying it in?
The only way I can think of to get us anywhere within spitting distance of that planet.
It's not a bad idea if we can find their ship.
You guys do have the armor as well.
I think if you'd asked me yesterday, it would have been suicide mission, but I think luck, fate, the force, I feel like now maybe we could pull it off.
Yes, but if I'm ever discovered, it'll probably be instant death for us.
Look on the bright side, Jedi. It might be instant death in the other place too.
I still feel like it might be in our best interest to stash these artifacts that we do have away somewhere first, because if we wander into the Empire, we're still handing it straight over to them if we do get caught.
Alright, how about this? If we can find their ship, we'll take the Phoenix Dawn back to our Bith friend, and he can keep the artifacts we found while we go and try and get the last.
Well, if he can prove himself to have a very hidden, sure, but otherwise, I'd rather trust it to us to find someplace a little more hidden.
If you've got a lockbox you know of, feel free to speak up.
It's always one of his ex-girlfriends.
Stash it at Michelle's place.
I do have a few of those.
Only a few.
All right, more than a few.
Unless you'd rather keep him at the Jedi Temple, gee.
It's very possible to keep it there.
It's not like the Sith haven't broken down that door recently.
It's fine.
What are the odds that'll happen twice?
It's not even a new movie yet.
Never tell me the odds.
If we are going to go that route, I would suggest we speak only with the Grandmaster. I don't know that I would. My opinion hasn't really changed on whether or not they may be infiltrated at other ranks.
Oh, that we can agree on. Let's try and find this ship first anyway.
Guess we're going to have to split 3 ways because I still have my own little other ship too.
Did you bring that here?
I'm assuming I did.
Well,
I didn't
can't
pay to dock
drive,
it anywhere.
Oh, I know that the Phoenix Dawn has like the extra access stuff. Can we try and like do a? Oh geez, what? Can we do a local scan type thing and try and find the Sith Imperial?
You can do that, and you may even have one thing that might be better. But computer use, difficulty 3, upgrade 2 to red.
Anybody want to help me out with that?
Fi will do his Rubesti.
does my inspiring rhetoric help with
Maybe. Let's see.
rolls? I can't remember, and the info's on here.
It's not in game. It's page 137 of the core rulebook.
I think that's just strain recovery. Let me look it up real quick.
So this isn't like inspiration.
No, it's something you do in combat as your action that it heals strain.
Oh, balls.
And I am going to flip a light side destiny point for that.
Probably a wise move.
Try to counter a little bit of that red.
Was there anything I could do to help with it?
Oof.
You can give
Well,
him
if
a
this
boost
counts
die.
as a new scene.
What was that? Sorry.
I said you gave him a boost die.
Yeah, okay.
Does this count as a new scene, or no? Is this still too close to the other one?
I mean, you guys are on a different ship, so if you want to do it, but I mean, you're gonna have to get 2 successes. So
Yeah, it'd have to be the yellow and it'd have to roll perfectly, but it is possible.
it certainly is.
If you want to go ahead, man.
Survey says, oh,
Not quite.
very close. Wherever they had hidden it, apparently they had painstakingly done so. But that kind of brings something up in your mind. Don't I have his data pad?
That is true. I could try hacking into that.
Difficulty on it is going to be purple, red, black.
And I'm assuming this would count as hacking into a device that I would get to use my
Yes,
implant.
absolutely.
And let me double check what that does, because I don't get to use it very often. Bypass security, which I don't remember what that does. I think it removes a setback.
Yeah.
And I can also add 1 boost die.
So you should be able to remove that black and add a blue. And again, I think double clicking on the die removes it.
Yeah, that does. That's good to know.
Yeah, thank you for that.
All right. Fezzik goes to work and out comes his little hacking tool. He gets to work on the data pad. You're able to bypass the encryption fairly easily. There's the data pad itself is pretty clean. You're going to see that this person was tasked by Darth Adras to a task to a system that is fairly close to here. The only real entry of importance that you're going to come across is that this person felt a disturbance in the force and brought a contingent of soldiers with him to investigate. It doesn't seem like this was a direct order per se. And you do have something to assist you in finding their ship. So I want you to make another roll. This time you're going to decrease the difficulty by 1 red. So a purple and a red. And of course, Dude Bro can assist.
You said 1 purple, 1 red?
1 purple, 1 red. Knocked out a whole die.
Nice.
That is enough. And you didn't get a despair, so that's good. You will be able to track down their craft. No one is left on board. It's a small freighter. Had you gotten a despair, I was hoping that it had sunk into the swamp.
I'm just glad I didn't get a despair on that thermal detonator.
Oh, that would have been so bad.
Did you read what it does?
I did not, but I can only imagine. Is it listed?
It basically detonates in your hand.
Oh, ouch.
Well, you would have kicked yourself off the team after that. Being dead and all.
Well, he would have been engaged to everybody else. I wonder if it would have rolled for the blast.
Probably.
G miraculously survives.
Captain Collateral Damage Fezzik over there. All right, so you guys are able to find their craft. Whatever you would expect to be on board is pretty much there. You'll be able to power it up, and yeah, doing a scan over, it looks like you would indeed have some access codes to Korriban. The ship has indeed been there.
Does this look like it was their main ship, or did they take a smaller ship as their contingent away from whatever their main goal?
It looks like this ship has been assigned to this Sith Lord. It may have been part of a larger unit, but again, no details are on it.
Well, we've got a plan at least. We know where we're gonna take our multitude of ships and meet up, and then we've got a goal to work at.
All right. So, are you guys decided between going to Korriban or not?
I think we're gonna head to Coruscant first.
To hide the or leave the artifacts. But are you guys going to Korriban? Or are you going to head straight to Nihil Retreat, or do we want to take this next week to kind of think it over? You guys can discuss within the chat.
Fi wants to go to Korriban.
Fezzik is fine with putting off meeting with the sorceress as long as possible.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so let's go ahead and call it here. Go ahead and spend the next week as you guys are, again, kind of conversing amongst your group. I think it's pretty much a consensus that you guys, if you do go to Korriban, that you want to hide those objects. But again, spend the next week, hash out the details. And we will call it there.